All right, guys. So we originally planned to go live at about 12 noon Mountain Standard Time, but it looks like they are going to be having a press conference for Madeline. So I want to make sure we were ready to go for the live stream. I had some plans, but those fell through. So perfect timing. Let's hope. Let's hope to have some good news here. Looks like they will be going live here momentarily. Looks like they're just doing the mic checks now. Welcome in, Jill, Charlotte, Night Shadow, Daily Survivor, Jumpin' Jack Flash, D. Awesome. Hopefully, you enjoy your new Sleuth Crew hoodie. Thank you for supporting my channel. And Patricia. Guys, we'll get going here in just a minute. Looks like they're not completely set up. The media appears to be getting their microphones and everything sound checked and the video and all of that. So, should be here pretty soon. All right. So we are watching it through Fox, and looks like they just activated their microphone, so they appear to be ready to go. Okay. Earlier,
I wish we
okay, here
were
we go.
here to tell you that we have found Madeline, but we have not found her. Last night, detectives from the Kissimmee Police Department met with Madeline's
Can you
mother,
guys hear that?
and they had to tell her the very devastating news that although we have not found Madeline, we are now confident that she is dead. So our
Oh my
efforts
god.
will be focused on recovering Madeline. Dozens and dozens of detectives, crime analysts, and specialized team members have been working nonstop and following up on every single lead and every shred of evidence. Our detectives have determined that Madeline was never dropped off on the morning of February 26th near her school. Instead, we believe she was already dead
Oh my god.
at the time and that Stephen Stearns moved her body in the early morning hours on that day. We have video evidence that shows Stephen Stearns discarding items in a dumpster in that apartment complex in Kissimmee at 7:35 on Monday,
What a
February
monster.
26. Detectives later recovered Madeline's backpack and her school-issued laptop from that dumpster. At 8:19, we have evidence that shows Stephen Stearns returning to the complex and Madeline was visible in that vehicle. we believe she was already dead at that time. As a result of that, although the initial missing persons investigation started in Orange County, the Kissimmee Police Department will now be taking over the investigation and will become the lead agency. And of course, the Orange County Sheriff's Office, all of our support personnel will be available and will be still be assisting in this investigation. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Chief Holland from the Kissimmee Police Department. Chief?
Thank you for being here. As Sheriff Mina said, this is still an active and ongoing investigation, and there is a lot of additional information that we cannot release at this time. I do want to note that Stefan Stearns was transported from the Orange County Jail to the Osceola County Jail, where he is being held on capital sexual battery charges filed by the Kissimmee Police detectives. Right now, our top priority is recovering Madeline. We are still appealing to our community for its help in this case. Please share this crime line bulletin on my right of Stephen Stearns. He was last seen driving a silver 2010 Lincoln MKZ. The Florida tag is IYLL82. On Monday, February 26th, between 1 and 2:30 p.m. in the area of State Road 192 and Old Hickory Tree Road, as well as Old Hickory Tree Road and Nolte Road. During this time frame, it is believed that Stearns had a flat tire and might have been seen changing the tire in this area. If anyone saw this vehicle or noticed anything suspicious, we're asking that they call Crime Line. We will continue to work tirelessly with the Orange County Sheriff's Office, the Osceola County Sheriff's Office, and St. Cloud Police Departments to bring a resolution to this case and recover Maddie. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Chief. We'll take some questions, but just remember, we're still in the middle of this investigation. There's a lot of things that we
How'd he get
cannot
that
review.
flat tire? He must have been off road.
No, Stearns has not spoken to anyone. The video evidence that we have. So we're not going to go into those exact details, but we have video evidence that leads us to believe that she's already dead.
Sheriff, there's been a lot of things that you laid out here just now. This location in the afternoon, is there a belief? Are we trying to figure out? I know you're requesting video surveillance that area. Are you trying to figure out whether she was still with this car at that time?
Yeah, so it could be helpful to us if people saw something, and obviously, we're searching many different areas. But if someone saw something in that area, we want to know about it. What's that now?
Where this car supposedly had a flat, is that area you've already searched?
So we actually have people searching areas right now. So they've searched a bunch of different areas, and they're going to continue to search.
Now
So
we
I
know
wanna go
why
into
they were in the
specifics
woods.
on exactly where. I don't want to miss something.
Because they think he was in the woods.
One more time. I'm sorry. So what I'll say is what I already said is that we believe he moved her body in those early morning hours, and all that is still under investigation. Yes, we're talking to the mother. Yes. So we're talking to the mother and all this. There's, to my knowledge, she's not a suspect in this case right now.
Absolutely no way the mom is involved. Not after watching her interview.
That's correct. So from the dumpster, we recovered her backpack and her school issued laptop.
Yeah, poor Maddie.
It's our belief that she was killed in Kissimmee.
Sup, Tech?
And that he moved her body. And so that's why the Kissimmee Police Department is the lead investigators now.
How many times are we going to cover this case? It's the same case.
Yeah, that's all
Monster
part of the investigation.
in the
So
home,
we haven't determined that yet.
backpack at the crime scene.
Yeah, so obviously detectives have spoken to her mother, And, as you can imagine, the reaction that any parent would have.
This is transition from a disappearance investigation to a murder investigation headed up by the Kissimmee Police Department.
That is correct. It is transitioned to a homicide investigation, and the Kissimmee Police Department will be the lead agency in that investigation. We're still investigating it.
I have a question for you, Chief, regarding the charges, because we noticed there's an additional charge for sex battery on a victim under the age of 12. Are you continuing to go through this phone and find more evidence?
The detectives are continuing the investigation, and as more evidence comes up, there may be more charges in the future. That's still all part of the investigation. I don't want to say right now.
What about the church footage that somebody mentioned that she was seen wearing she was seen at the church?
So yes, we reviewed that footage. It was
Good
very
question.
grainy. We weren't able to determine that was her, but like I said, we know that she was never dropped off at school that morning.
Law enforcement was misleading about the video so that they can get their suspect.
That's correct. Searches are continuing as we speak. And so, like I said, we have people who are working nonstop. And so every lead that comes in, every piece of evidence that we receive, we're going to follow up on that. And if that leads us to a new search area, we'll be out all weekend.
Everybody
Yeah,
good?
the great.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Sheriff.
Think that's it, guys. Stand by, and we'll go over some of the information I put together for you in support of Madeline's case. Looks like this live stream or this press conference is over. So we'll close that out. Bear with me, guys. I wasn't ready to go live for a whole nother hour, so we'll just continue off screen. It's good to see everybody. What's going on, Ziggy? So it does appear that they believe Madeline has passed away. God rest her soul. Another innocent victim. Another monster living right amongst us. Invited into the home. It kind of reminds me of the Henrietta case. Camaro says, why do we as women let our children around monsters? Remember, these guys are monsters. They have an evil power, and it's manipulation. It's hiding in plain sight. It's a lot like a reptilian, a chameleon, a shapeshifter. They're able to use body language to manipulate. Similar to this Steven character. During his interview, he comes in and sits down in the background. He doesn't have to say one word, and he's manipulating the whole situation. Because now the reporter is going to be hesitant to bring up an obvious question, right? Do you suspect your boyfriend? She's not going to do it with him sitting there and the way he's posturing. He's being very intimidating. He's saying everything he needs to just with his presence. And he's been operating this way most likely since he was a child. So the report says Town Loop Boulevard. Now, I'm not sure which school it is. This is an elementary school, but a report came out stating it was a middle school. So do we know where this, I believe it's a Methodist church. Oh, here it is. Hunters Creek Middle School. Okay, where's this church at? That looks like a neighborhood. Is this it? Peace. Oh, here it is. Dang, you're gonna let your kid walk all? Well, I guess it's not too far, but still, it's weird. Maybe they get dropped off and then walk with a large group of students in this direction. Okay. I didn't get an opportunity to record the first press conference, but they stated something in there about a communication from Madeline and her phone stating that after her 13th birthday, she was going to go live in the woods. So, what that tells me is that Steven got a hold of her phone and most likely made fake texts from the phone, right? Possibly. Or convinced her, hey, this is what we're going to do. Our relationship's going to be real. We're going to run away together into the woods. So I kind of hope that he built some kind of makeshift cabin or underground, dug in some kind of confinement area underground. I was kind of hoping she'd be possibly being held there. So everybody would think that she had run away, yet was keeping her in some kind of weird, like makeshift dungeon, I guess. But it sounds like that is not the case. The dude's Facebook. Cast member at Walt Disney World. How sick is that shit? Dora says we mothers need to be very careful who we expose our children to. You can't blame this woman. I'm telling you, these guys are monsters. This guy, I guarantee, charmed her. Look, he looks well groomed. Like, hey, look at me. I got hair gel and nice sunglasses. I'm friendly. I even work at Disney World. I don't blame her. She's a victim too. He may have even targeted her. Sick. Women too. It's people, humans. They live with us. They're your nurses, they're your teachers, they're your neighbors, they're your boyfriends, they're your girlfriends. It drives me crazy. I don't know how to fix it.
Going on with Maddie?
Well, Monday morning, we took her to school. We dropped her off.
Okay, guys. I'm sure you've all seen this interview, so we're going to be stopping and going and talking about it because we want to kind of analyze his body language. So shortly, you're going to see the murder suspect, what they believe is a murder, right? I think there could still be hope, unless she may have been maybe drugged, right? They're basing everything off the video. The video says, well, we can see in the vehicle that she appears to be deceased. Well, she could also have been drugged, right? And just thrown in there or fallen. So you can appear to be deceased, but also just be under an influence of something really strong. Um, Before we get out of here, remind me, I want to show you guys a story that just came out about a father. Can't remember where this took place, but a young daughter had a sleepover, two or three friends, a slumber party, and he drugged all of them and was attempting to sneak down into the basement and um, basically assault them. But one of them apparently didn't wasn't affected by the drugs, or maybe it was something she took naturally. It just didn't affect her, right? She had already built up an immunity, or she didn't drink as much of it. He put it in a smoothie and attempted to assault them in the middle of the night. Thank God she stayed up and called her folks. And if you guys haven't looked into the Henrietta case, another monster that preyed upon a single mother and once was invited into the home and became the main, what would you call it, the head of the household. That's when the trouble began. Now he was in a position of power and total control, and he literally would lock the day he committed his murders. He locked and chained them up that day. So imagine waking up from a normal life and then waking up the next morning into the fantasy of a sick psychopath. This woman here is a victim, I believe, 100%. Her soul has been crushed by the devil, is what happened.
Close to school, across the street from a church, which is it's right next to the school.
In walks
He crossed
Satan.
the street and walked to school, what we thought walked to school. My boyfriend who drove her to school drove away at that point. It was seen on video footage that she hung out in the parking lot of the church for a few minutes and then got up and walked towards the school. But she never made it that walk and that was around.
Okay, I want to focus on that small detail here, right? Online sleuths, if they would have never found out who did this, would have made plenty of decisions based upon this here.
Of the church for a few minutes. It was seen on video footage that she hung out in the parking lot.
Okay, so she's stating something as a fact because another person convinced her that it was a fact. She did not see it with her own eyes. And not only that, it was not true. So if we did not have answers, we would be building theories and trying to figure out what happened to Madeline and not including this creep. So when it comes to the manipulation, I wouldn't doubt it if he somehow, some way had his hand in her believing that. In her subconscious mind and her instincts, she knows he's the killer. But something is protecting her from that realization. And he's all too eager to help whatever that is, right? Plausible deniability. He's going to reinforce that by doing what he's done his entire life, and that's manipulate. And also, he's attempting to inject himself here.
Lot of the church for a few minutes and then got up and walked towards the school. But she never made it that walk and that was around 9 a.m. when she got up. She never made it to school after that.
So I believe he's either trying to intimidate the reporter into not asking about him, or he's hoping that she reaches out over the mother's shoulder and asks him a question, right? He wants to be part of this conversation, but he doesn't want to appear too eager. So he's either trying to intimidate and have all of the inside information and control the narrative that is coming out of his girlfriend and the victim's mother, or he's hoping that the reporter says, well, what about you, Stephen? What can you tell us? And then he's like, oh, who, me? Oh, you want to talk to me? Oh, well, this is what I know, right? And then he starts controlling the narrative from there. So I want everybody to focus in on this person in the background. This is what a guilty person looks like.
It's right next to the school. I don't know why she didn't make it. I don't know if something happened on her walk along the way or if she got taken, but she never made it.
And that was
Um,
the last anyone's seen of her or heard from her?
yes. I went to pick her up after school, and she wasn't there. So I started driving around, maybe thinking she took a walk. Maybe she decided to walk to my mom's office, which is pretty close to the school as well. Drove around and I didn't see anything. I drove back to the school. The school was closed. I emailed one of her teachers. They confirmed that she was absent all day.
And let's go to Olivia too. He says, no, incorrect. She said she wished she lived in the woods. Are you sure about that? I thought it said during the press conference that she planned to go live in the woods and that she planned to go after her 13th birthday. I'm pretty sure.
At that point is when I called 911 because I realized something was truly wrong.
Have you heard from like any of her friends? Has she been active on any social media?
She hasn't been active on social media, none of her chats, none of her games. We did contact all her friends. None of them had seen her Monday or heard from her.
You guys remember in the Echo Lloyd case where the number one suspect said he would track her phone and that every once in a while she would have mental health issues and she would run out to the woods, right? And it would happen so often that he felt he would have to track her. To me, what that sounds like is him injecting himself into the case so that when they do find her in the woods, they have a story to go along with it and why she's there, right? Oh, she has a history of walking out in the woods and that's what happened. She succumbed to the elements. So that's what I feel like these killers do. Inject themselves and plant seeds in people's minds. And we have to be very careful because the killer will be planting seeds and the victims unknowingly will regurgitate that information. People will be using it as their foundation for looking into the case and trying to help.
Yeah, there's no update.
And I have to ask this, and I know I hate doing it, but is she the type that would run away? Has this happened in the past or anything? Has she ever threatened to run away?
Never. She's never ever mentioned anything like this before, and she's not the type to want to do this. She did accidentally leave her phone on Monday, which is kind of normal for her. She's got ADHD and very forgetful.
Yeah, Camaro just happened.
So she left her phone at home, so there's no way to trace her. They tried tracing her school laptop, but that's off, so it's not pinging to anything.
Jen, what is your fear? I know you mentioned she's on games and stuff.
Good,
Do you think she
Doris.
could have like met somebody and tried to meet up with them?
Better safe than sorry.
She's open to us. She's open with us about, if she's got a crush with anyone, and she told us she had a crush on someone at school. And I looked at their messages.
And also, parents, don't do that. Don't is as scary as it is that your child might be having an inappropriate conversation with an adult or even another child behind your back, as hard as that is to believe, don't allow that to be your reasoning. Go look. Go take a look. It's your phone. I mean, I don't know any 12-year-old that can afford a cell phone. That is your property. That is your child. Go look. Don't ask. Right? Don't take their word for it. Just simply take a look. It'll take 5 seconds.
Nothing was weird. I looked at all of her messages, all of her deleted messages. Nothing seemed weird. It didn't seem like she was talking to anyone. So I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like she may have been taken, because this is not like her at all to just disappear and not let us know where she's going or who she's with. Yeah.
What are you getting from law enforcement? Are they actively searching
Thank you,
for
CJ.
her? I mean, what?
CJ, I don't typically keep the Discord open during live streams. I don't like the notifications. I don't like what it does. Kind of messes with my video card too. So, best way to communicate with me during a live stream is my email because it'll send a notification to my phone, and I can look at it on my phone while we continue.
What happens now? I mean, especially that she doesn't have her phone with her.
So as far as I know, they're conducting a search.
That should have been a red flag too, because when I was looking at this information and her phone was gone and there was all these weird things found in her phone, I thought maybe the boyfriend brought the phone back and deleted all his communication with her, took that all out of the phone, and maybe deleted anything else that might be suspicious on that end and then just left it there, right?
Around the school, behind the school, there's a Shingle Creek. There's a
Yeah, maybe she even threatened him. Like he was doing something inappropriate and she said, "Well, I'm going to tell my mom or I'm going to get you in trouble." And he panicked.
a wooded path area that you could walk. It's a hiking path. They are going back there with their canine dogs. They've taken a piece of her clothing to see if they can trace her scent. They're also taking their own vehicles. I'm not sure what type of vehicles, but they're going into the woods to search for her. But I don't feel like that's going to find anything right now. We've had people all day on that trail sending us photos to see if anything there looks familiar and like her personal belongings. And
Privately, in the back of her mind, I think she knows something, her instincts.
nothing is hers. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure where to go from here. I'm just contacting the news to get the word out, to get some help.
What's up, Chopper?
Because I'm desperate.
What's up, Jamie?
I'm a wreck right now.
So you think that she's been taken against her will?
I do think so, yes.
As a mom, what's your mother's
Yeah, we just watched
intuition
it
telling
live.
you right now?
I'm trying to hope for the best, but I'm scared for her. I want her to be okay and I want her to be safe. I don't want her to come back harmed.
And the piece of shit is right there behind her. Let that sink in for a minute. How dark is that? That's her rock. He's right next to her during this hard time that he created. A nightmare. A real Freddy Krueger. He turned her entire world into a nightmare where he gets to run around forever now, even possibly tormenting her from prison.
I just want her back. Whatever that means. I just want her back.
Are you getting any updates from law enforcement? I mean, yes, they're searching that small area, but have they gotten any hits on any scent or anything like that?
They haven't let me know anything. They haven't updated me since I spoke to them this morning. I've contacted them to get some information or to give them some leads, but I've heard nothing back.
And Jen, there's no way that she just being, a teenager was like, maybe had a fight with you or an argument with you and was like, you know what, I'm going to go hang out at so-and-so's house and teach her a lesson. Could that be a scenario?
I don't believe so. We actually haven't gotten into a fight in like a few weeks or arguments or anything like that. If anything, on Sunday, she celebrated her 13th birthday with my entire family and she had the best day. She was so happy. She showed us all her gifts. She's just a happy girl and she showed it on Sunday night when she went to bed. She was so happy. So, she had the best day.
Jamie says his lurking in the background is very triggering. Yeah, it makes your blood boil a little bit. Like, what the hell is he doing just sitting there? And he's cracking his knuckles too, all loud. And I think at one point he even says something.
I just, there was no moment in that evening from when she got home from the party that she had her phone or had the laptop. She went straight to getting ready and went to bed. So I know she didn't have any conversations with anyone. She didn't make plans with anyone. I didn't see any of that.
So she spent
Very
the
dark.
whole Sunday
Look at him.
celebrating her 13th birthday.
He has no intention of getting caught. That's what the injecting themselves into the case is, their inability to let things be. So the same reason that they committed the crime is the same reason they get caught. They think they're so smart, right? I'm going to inject myself. Oh, you're the first piece of shit that ever thought of that, huh? Smart guy. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I got it all figured out. All you are is a sick piece of shit. That's it. And the same thing that convinced you to commit this murder is the same thing that convinced you that you're a smart guy.
Was her 13th birthday on that Sunday, or that was just like the time you guys were celebrating?
That was the time we were celebrating. Her birthday was on Thursday, the 22nd.
Okay,
She just
so
turned 13.
but that's just so heartbreaking to be celebrating her 13th birthday, and then the very next day,
She's
that's the
gone.
last you've seen of her.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you go now? Are you gonna go out there and search or look, or what is are you sticking by the phone? Are you what are you doing?
I'm staying at home, staying by the phone, hoping she just appears. I know my entire family is out looking. They've all spread a bunch of flyers. They've gone. I've had people contact me that they've gone to the international airport to spread flyers.
Let's go to Boston Christian's comment here. Is he trying to overpower the situation? Seems very creepy. Yes, he's like he's saying a million words with his body language. He's saying, I'm here. And he's there to react if the reporter says, well, what about your boyfriend? What about him? It's on camera that he dropped her off. He's cleared. So there is some suspicious activity from her during that part of it. But like I said, look at the man that is in the room with her. She is helpless right now. What can she do? Powerless, completely powerless. All of her instincts say protect, protect, protect. None of those wishes are being answered at all at this moment. She is completely helpless. Who is she going to turn to? Dipshit behind her right shoulder. I mean, if he could cast a shadow of what he really is, it would probably take out all the light in that room behind him in the kitchen. Be a silhouette of a beast.
To Amtrak, to Greyhound, just any way that if someone's taken her and they're trying to take her, just to show her face, just to make sure, she's not being taken against her will.
And you mentioned ADHD. Was there anything else maybe mentally going on, or that you knew of?
She does suffer from anxiety, and once upon a time she was diagnosed with autism. We had her
What's up? Chica says he's looking at the camera. And what the hell is he doing even? Why come into the frame? So he walks in all close into the frame, kind of kicks the chair around a little bit, and starts cracking his knuckles. So when Daily Survivor says his demeanor screams, pay attention to me. Yeah, he could be just trying to get the reporter's attention, like, hey, over here. I know you want to ask me a question. Pull me into this.
what's the word?
Brained, maybe.
Reevaluated.
Okay.
We had her reevaluated a few months ago, actually, and they told us no, she didn't have autism, but she did have some autistic traits. She did have ADHD, some autistic traits, but not autism.
No,
So I'm not sure
Sparky.
where to leave with that because one doctor said she did and one doctor saying she doesn't, and I don't know.
Sparky is asking, have they found her yet? No, they have not found her, but they do believe that she has passed. Apparently, there is video evidence, clear cut video in the vehicle where they believe what they're seeing is a deceased person.
She's just in the middle.
I say
guess,
she could be
she does have
drugged.
some tendencies, but socially she's pretty great. So I'm not sure.
And with the video that you were able to see whenever your boyfriend dropped her off, where was that? Which video? Was that a surveillance camera?
It was a surveillance camera from the church, Peace Church, right next to Hunters Creek Middle School.
And do you have that video?
I don't have that. They didn't show me. They wouldn't show me. It was actually
Exactly.
My sister was the one at location, and they were letting her know what they saw on camera.
See,
Okay.
do you see what police did there? Do you see that strategy? So when we're talking about all these cases and how police mislead, this is the reason why. When somebody tells me a very high level investigator told me this person was not involved, to believe that would not be very smart. Why? Because sometimes when you tell people certain things, it's because that's what you want them to regurgitate out into the public. You're using them. I think useful idiot is the term. Not saying that's always the case when you're dealing with a high ranking police official or somebody like that, part of the investigation, but they do that. They lied to the sister so that the sister would regurgitate the information to the mother and therefore to the father or the boyfriend. But he already knew, right? Nobody knows more about the crime than the suspect or the perpetrator. Not all the investigators combined, not the victims' families, not the online sleuths, nobody. The perpetrator is the number one source of information when it comes to that crime. He knows everything. He knows what the crime scene looks like. He knows why the crime was motivated. He knows who committed the crime. He knows exactly what happened to the victim. So he has the upper hand, especially somebody that is a manipulator like apparently this person is. He has all the tools he needs to set up a plan to at least try to get away with this. He knows where to steer the direction, right? If they're getting close, he needs them to go in the opposite direction.
To any of us.
Got it. Okay. Jen, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Please, 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 if you have any information, contact me, contact law enforcement. Any information helps. Maddie, if you see this, please come home. Please be safe. I love you very much. If you have my Maddie, please just let her come home. We just want her home.
Okay, so if you guys are just joining us right now, there's been a press conference. It was live about 30 minutes ago. They do believe that Madeline Soto has passed on. I believe there is video evidence of that. And they want this to be known here. And they're asking for any information that could help in regards to this vehicle. So you live in this area, or you might even have been in this area here. Looks like the 417 and where the 423 and the 417 meet. Hunters Creek, Florida, Town Loop Boulevard. So the information we have now, this was a complete lie and a fabrication that she was dropped off at Peace United Methodist Church. So the sister, she must have been suspicious already. Like, I'm going there. He says he dropped her off there. I'm going to go check, right? Law enforcement knew damn well why she was checking, because they were checking for the same reasons too. They lied to her. Oh, yeah, we saw her walking and we're investigating, knowing damn well it was a lie. It's called strategy. Damn good one, too. Actually, I think I might have a video from the aunt. Let's go to that.
13-year-old Madeline Soto. They've been out there all day in a wooded area near Hunters Creek in Orange County. Good evening. I'm John Brown.
And I'm Luann Sorrell. Deputies have officially called off their search for the day. Fox 35's Caroline Coles is joining us live tonight. So, Caroline, the girl's family is just terrified that she could be in danger.
Yeah, just like any family would be.
Wait, let me go check something real quick. So they have the search area right behind the school. Is that what I'm seeing? Oh, wow. What a nightmare. Got all these water sources here. If they're searching here, the timeline must tell him that he didn't go far. He must be on camera leaving with his tire looking fine, and then maybe 20, 30 minutes later coming back with a flat tire. Like, what a strange area. Like, what is this area here? Is it just a preserve? Yeah, Daily Survivor. Who cracks their knuckles on live TV like that? Like, man, the behavior analysts were going nuts. Like, that's your guy. So, I mean, they couldn't live far. If she's going to school here, so, I mean, it could be anywhere. Like, what is? They just have these random wooded areas. Yeah, they must be working with a pretty tight time frame here. Timeline tells them he didn't go 10, 15 minutes away. Guarantee they're searching this location here. A lot of strange little dirt roads as well. Look. Looks like you got a canal system. You can just go right under here. Looks like a good way to pop your tire. Something tells me he went a little off road. Like something maybe more like this. Because I've seen cars go up some pretty rough terrain. And as long as it's not jagged and too rough, I mean, you can make it. But this here looks really rough. I don't think this road's popping any tires. This one, however. I don't know. This is the only location that's standing out to me. Okay, this looks like a rock quarry. We're doing something under and over here. Okay, so you make a right on International Drive, and you can make a quick right here on this dirt road. Nope, not going that way. I'm going this way. Or we'll take this way as far as we can. And then we'll turn. This looks like a tire popping road right here. That's what the spidey senses are telling me right there. In between whatever this is. Looks like 2 retention ditches. So I hope they're searching this whole area. They got their hands full. So if you're in this area, if you can go help out, I'm sure they would appreciate it. Hunters Creek.
Joining us live tonight. So, Caroline, the girl's family is just terrified that she could be in danger.
Yeah, just like any family would be. They're nervous, they're scared, they're worried. They just are hoping and praying that they find her safe and, most importantly, alive.
I really don't think she would have ever
Yeah,
done
no
anything
effects.
like that. To just pick up and run away with no trace of anything.
50 hours and counting. That's how
She
long
was
it's
on the
been
case,
since
huh?
13-year-old
To just pick up.
safe and, most importantly, alive.
I really don't think she would have ever done anything like that. To just
She went to the church and was trying to get her hands on that footage. I like her.
pick up and run away with no trace of anything.
50 hours and counting. That's how long it's been since 13-year-old Madeline Soto was reported missing. On Wednesday, family, friends, and dozens of
Oh, that's sad. I just realized this looks like the photos from her birthday party. I think the day before she went missing. 13, yep. Look at the shadow in the glass. It's a reflection of a bearded man.
counting. That's how long it's been since 13-year-old Madeline Soto was reported missing. On Wednesday, family, friends, and dozens of deputies searched several areas around Orange County. And still, no sign of the teenager.
I'm trying.
I have a feeling, as disturbing as this sounds, is that he was grooming her and he was building up to her 13th birthday. And then after the 13th birthday, he did what he did, and he knew that he had to silence his victim because he doesn't care anyway, right? He doesn't have a heart or a soul. So what difference does it make for him?
To believe that she is still alive out there.
Maddie was last seen Monday morning after being dropped off near her school by her mother's boyfriend. But after drop-off, Maddie never made it to school. Maddie's mother telling us surveillance video shows Maddie hanging out in a church parking lot on Monday morning after being dropped off for school.
Chica says the monster is right behind her and she didn't even know it. How? I mean, it's so hard to wrap your mind around it. So this guy, first he grooms the child. No, first he probably targeted a single mother. It probably goes way back, right? So he's probably lives a disgusting lifestyle that nobody knows about. It's a huge secret. online nasty shit, like, you know, the online searches we see on Rex Heuermann and Keegan Kline and people like this. He probably lived something very similar, targeted the single mother and, for the purposes of targeting the daughter, groomed her, murdered her, and then tried to cover it up and live his life as if nothing happened.
But she never made it inside.
I don't know if she's somewhere safe. That I have high doubts.
Why do you say that?
Just because of the world we live in right now, everything's really crazy.
Sheriff's deputy.
See, high doubts. Now, this is her since being lied to, learning the truth, and being asked not to speak about it. And also, this is the human element trying to do her best, providing her own version of misinformation. So, this is another strategy burdened to her by law enforcement.
Everything's really crazy.
Sheriff's deputies are using canines and a piece of Maddie's clothing to try to track her scent in the Hunters Creek area. And just like the family, the Orange County
100%,
Sheriff's
Cindy.
Office is also concerned for Maddie's safety, especially after finding troubling messages on Maddie's phone.
There is information on the phone that indicated that she told people when she turned 13, which was on February 22nd, she actually wanted to go live in the woods.
Okay, so she, according to witnesses, they said as soon as she turns 13, she wanted to go live in the woods. So was this guy grooming her, saying when you turn 13, you're going to be a woman now, and I'm going to take you away. We're going to run away together. We're going to go live in the woods. Is that something that could have happened? Does it seem far-fetched? I feel like she was groomed for quite some time, leading up to the 13th. And then the murder, or I hate to say that without them finding her. We'll call it the crime. The crime happened, I think it was the very next day, right? After her 13th birthday. So I believe he was grooming her to that day, did what he had planned all along, not caring if he gets caught, right? We hear a lot of these sickos. What do they say after they've been caught? It was worth it. It was worth it. That's why they do not care.
Sheriff Mina says they have collected video from where she went missing and will continue to extensively look for Maddie until they...
All they need is some kind of a trophy. They'll relive it. And when they go to prison, they'll relive it. Their entire life has been a fantasy. So when they're in prison, where do they go? Right to that place. And that place is most likely protecting them from their own victimization as a child. They've been running from their dark place they ran in and created a whole new space.
Locate her.
Passed it on.
We're worried about where she is and what, I mean, God forbid, but what's happening to her, if anyone has her, if anything like that. It's gotten to a point where we're hoping that she is with someone that she knows.
Now, the family, of course, watched that press conference that we saw earlier from Sheriff Mina, and they text me saying, look, we hear what the sheriff is saying, but we want to let it be known and clear that Maddie would never, ever run away. So that's what they're putting out there. And again, they're hoping and praying that she returns home safely.
Let's go here to a comment by Sparky. It says there was talk of him SAing her, assaulting her. Who knows for how long? I have a feeling whatever they found on his phone was from that day. Right? Your mother's going to leave for work, and that's when we're going to have our rendezvous, so to speak. Who knows what happened at that point, but I think that all of the CSAM, so to speak, on the phone, I bet you was from that morning. But I could be wrong on that. Oh, that's gross, Chica. Chica says, I heard he even knocked on doors looking for her. CJK, I heard going back to 2022, her photos on his phone. I hope you're not part of some Facebook group and you're just kind of spilling that stuff over. We want to look at the factual information. So if you have a source, let us know and we'll pull it up.
Stefan, where's Maddie? Did you hurt her? Are you a pedophile? What's on your cell phone? Why aren't you talking to investigators? Where was Maddie last seen? Why aren't you helping her mother and her family?
Yeah, why isn't he saying where she is? Because he wants to get off on this crime. In his mind, it's not over yet.
This is a little girl. Help them find Maddie. Where is Maddie? Where is she? What did you do with her? Tell us something.
Oh man, they got him all like Hannibal Lecter. Well, yeah, if you get arrested for something like this, the first thing you're going to try to do is take your own life. All right, let's hang out in the chat for a little bit, and I have a couple, just maybe one or two more videos we'll watch. Here's an
Breaking
overview
news
video.
In the last hour, a man has been arrested in the case of a missing 13-year-old. You are looking at video of Stefan Stearns, who has just been arrested. Thanks for meeting me tonight at 11. I'm Marlisa Goldsmith. We're following that breaking news tonight. And here is video again of that man being taken away in handcuffs. Deputies say he is the boyfriend of the missing girl's mother. Stearns is believed to have been the last person to see Maddie Soto on Monday.
Yes,
Hannah
Daily
McKenzie
Survivor,
joining us live in Orange
100%.
County tonight. And Hannah, this news we're just now learning about, so unfortunate.
Unfortunate to say the least, Marlisa. Stefan Stearns has now been arrested for sexual
Welcome
battery
in,
and
Madeline.
possession of child sexual abuse material. Now, we've got video showing Stearns being taken out of the Orange County Sheriff's Office, along with two deputies taking him there and putting him into the back of a police patrol car. Stearns is the boyfriend of Maddie Soto's mother.
Oh, yeah, CJK. I totally forgot about that. Yeesh.
Jen. He's also believed to be the last person to see Maddie Soto when he allegedly
Miranda,
dropped her
he
off at
is
school
arrested.
on Monday. Maddie
That
Soto
is what
was
you're watching.
supposed to arrive at Hunters Creek Middle School.
And it looks like they even took his clothes. So what that tells me is they have evidence. They maybe have a shoe print somewhere or something. I don't know if they're expecting some blood but man, they took all of his clothes away. Maybe that's just standard. That way you don't overlook anything that might be there. Even though he's had 2 or 3 days to change, maybe they can match some of the fibers or something.
Hunters Creek Middle School.
She never made it.
And that was the last anyone's seen of her or heard from her?
Yes. I went to pick her up after school, and she wasn't there.
Look at him. Look at him in the background. You see that? Look at his hand.
And she wasn't there.
Did you hear it? He's popping his knuckles.
And she wasn't there. So I started driving around, maybe thinking He's
probably grinding his teeth too.
Maybe she decided to walk to my mom's office, which is pretty close to the school as well. Drove around and I didn't see anything. I drove back to the school was closed. I emailed one of her teachers. They confirmed that she was absent all day.
That's a good thought, Molly. I wonder if the plant specialists who investigate plant particles or soil particles could tell if his car was in a specific area to search. Saw that done once on Forensic Files. Yeah, that's a pretty good thought. I wonder how different the plant life and the soil and things are in that one area. I wonder if there's much of a change.
At that point is when I called 911 because I realized something was truly wrong.
Now, during that interview, you may have noticed a man sitting in the background there. That is Stefan Stearns. Orange County Sheriff's Office
Dipshit
investigators say
Stearns.
they found disturbing images on his phone, as well as attempts to delete those images. Digital forensics detectives were able to determine that the crimes were committed at the family's home in Kissimmee. Orange County Sheriff Mina told us earlier.
See, that tells us that those images are in the home and with the victim.
That a search warrant was being executed there today.
All right, so Hannah, you were there during that interview. You saw Stearns. Can you tell me what his behavior or demeanor was like?
Well, Marlisa, it was a little odd, and I did think that from the beginning.
I don't know,
came in
Molly,
and
but
he
it doesn't
made his
sound good.
presence known. He dropped
Can't
the
be
chair
good.
onto the ground before he sat in it, and he kind of just sat back behind Jen Soto throughout the entirety of that interview. And he was cracking his knuckles. At one point, you can hear him popping them while just fidgeting with his hands the whole time. Now, I
Good
just
interview,
got off
Hannah
the phone not
McKenzie.
too long ago with
She did
Jen
well on this
Soto's
case.
sister. That's Maddie Soto's aunt. She tells me, of course, this is very disturbing news, and it is very worrying for the family. Now their focus is just on finding Maddie. We're in the area where she was last seen now, and it's really difficult, Marlisa, to even find a parked car or a pole that doesn't have one of these flyers plastered onto it. So they're really just asking anyone who has seen Maddie, may know of where she was, may know where she is, where she's been, to call the sheriff's office, call 911, call Crime Line, just call whoever you can.
Sheriff's number's in the
Of
description.
Maddie Soto. Marlisa.
Breaking.
So yeah, if you have any information on her disappearance, the number to call is in the description of this video. And one of the main pieces of information that they were focusing on during today's press conference was this vehicle. And they're saying it looks like he had to change his tire. And this could be the reason they're searching in the wooded areas. Could explain how he got a flat tire. So once again, Hunters Creek, Florida. So I guess in the area of the 423 freeway and the 417 freeway. If you had business anywhere near there, even nearby, because this person, you know, he's going to want to drive somewhere away from his anchor point. So, I mean, you could have been over here on the other side of town on the 4 freeway. Who knows what you were doing? But if you saw this vehicle, make sure you call the sheriff's office there. You never know. You never know. The smallest piece of information could be helpful. Oh, I saw the guy get out of his vehicle and he was pulling something out of his front fender. It looked like a tree branch or something. Saw the vehicle pulled over. It appeared he had run over something. Anything. Law enforcement can use a small piece of information that leads them to a bigger piece of information that ultimately leads them to where she might be found. I might have seen that vehicle. It looks a little familiar. I was in the area. I was over at the McDonald's and I could have swore I saw something similar. Let them know. Okay. Just wanted to play some random video here before we get out of here, just as a reminder to all parents. Oh, also, don't forget about this very similar situation happened when it comes to the Henrietta case. I don't know if you guys remember this.
Where their missing loved ones ended up after 7 bodies were discovered in Oklahoma just about an hour south of Tulsa yesterday. 2 of those victims were teenage girls who were with a 39-year-old sex offender who was also found dead. Details on this investigation are still sparse. Omar Villafranz shares what we know so far.
We've searched the property and we've located 7 bodies.
Oklahoma law enforcement found those bodies in Henrietta Monday, but would not discuss any additional facts of the case.
There's no suspect at large that we are looking for right at this moment.
While neither a motive nor the name of a suspect has been released, the father of 16-year-old Brittany Brewer confirmed his daughter was among the dead.
She always played with her little sister, and I don't know how I'm going to tell her, because she's like, Brittany's lost, Brittany's missing, and I got to tell a 4-year-old that she's gone. And I don't.
Jeez. Ooh, I don't know if I can watch that video again. So very similar case. Single mother brings in this monster who wooed her, did what he does best. A monster with the ability to shapeshift right in front of us. Jedi mind trick. I am not a monster. You are not a monster. It's that simple. Okay, now I did have a video that I had for you guys. I'm having trouble locating it. Oh, here it is. Okay, we're gonna, this will probably be the last video. So if you guys want to get your comments in, let me know now. We'll watch this, finish up on chat, and then I gotta go. This is shocking.
Oswego is now.
This is unrelated to any of the cases we've discussed. This is something that just happened. Very disturbing.
Oswego is now facing charges accused of drugging several kids during a sleepover in August of last year. Court documents are revealing some details that are difficult to hear. A disturbing story out of Lake Oswego. 57-year-old Michael Maiden turned himself in after being accused of drugging 3 12-year-old girls during his daughter's sleepover. According to court documents, it happened last summer in Maiden's Lake Oswego home. He's accused of lacing mango smoothies with benzodiazepine, usually used to treat insomnia and panic attacks. The court documents say the girls told police they felt groggy, some even blacking out. It states that Maiden made repeated visits to the basement where the girls slept, watching them sleep, and at one point holding his finger under one girl's nose and waving his hand in front of her face to see if she was asleep.
Okay, now if my daughter called me about this, I'm not calling the cops. And that's the part that scares me. That dark place. You guys ever seen that episode of Joe Rogan where he's talking about when that guy was hiding out, a father was hiding out in the airport, and he was waiting to ambush the guy who had assaulted his son. And as the suspect walked by in police custody, he turned around from a payphone with a single gunshot. So they were talking about that in this Joe Rogan episode, and he goes to this dark place. That place is very scary. And one thing that we learned from Jeff Buziak, after losing his daughter, he says, you always say, hey, this is how I will act until it happens to you. And then you have no clue, you know. He says, everybody tells me, oh, I would have killed the son of a bitch. I'll kill those bastards. If they ever did that to my loved one, I'll kill those sons of bitches. He says, until it happens to you, you don't know about how dark it really does get and how close you ride that line. That's the part that scares me.
One of the girls managed to stay awake and texted her mom just before 2 a.m. saying, quote, "Mom, please pick me up and say I had a family emergency. I don't feel safe. I might not respond, but please come get me. Please, please pick up. Please, please." Documents say she then contacted a family friend who then came and picked up the girl and took her home and woke up her parents. Around 3 a.m., two of the parents of the girls went to the home to get the girls, and documents say Maiden resisted letting them in at first, telling the parents the girls were sleeping. Maiden finally let the parents in, and the girls were taken home. All three girls did test positive for benzodiazepine.
Jeez.
Oswego.
Parents' worst nightmare. That's why my daughters have never, ever gone to a sleepover. If their parents want to let them have a sleepover here, that's on them. But she's not going anywhere. My oldest. What's up, Kara? CJK, I remember that. Are you referring to the Henrietta case? Gosh, what a nightmare. It's like when you go over the case facts and the affidavit, you're like, there's no way that this is real. And that's what true crime is for me. It's how can we strive for peace and love and just spreading positive energy, yet we live amongst this. So if you need any more proof of good and evil, God, the devil, I mean, really, all you got to do is open your eyes to it. There's a force out there that's trying to take away your happiness. And what we're doing here is shedding light on that force. Thank you for watching the Sleuth Intuition channel. If you are part of the replay crew, you know what to do. Drop a comment and let me know what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay in the loop. Sleuth Intuition is 100% crowdfunded. If you want to support me and help my channel grow, here are 3 ways that you can help. Number 1, Cash App. The funds go directly to me without YouTube taking a percentage. Number 2, become a member. Members are by far the leading contributors to my channel. Number 3, hit up the merch shop. Represent the Sleuth crew on these ruthless streets. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Sleuth Intuition channel. I'm your host, Patrick Vallejos. Until next time, peace.